How do you, as a father, handle anger?
I pray.
What are some non-negotiables in your home? Like,
Non-negotiable that we have is that you can't miss church. You got to get up on Sunday morning. I don't care how late you stay up. All getting up and going to church together.
God forbid something happens to you today or tomorrow, and you want to leave something to your kids, from Salik to his kids. What's that one message?
Yikes. That's a tough question, man. It's a
Yeah,
tough question.
man, listen,
It made me tip a little.
All right, family, listen. We're back for another interview. I got another good brother of mine. Y'all always hear me say brother because it's family. You know, it's a fatherhood of family and things of that nature. So tell them your name, man.
Yeah, Salik Johnson.
All right. Salik. So Salik, how many kids you got, man?
3 kids.
3 kids.
3 kids.
Okay.
2 girls, 1 boy.
2 girls, 1 boy. Where the age range is at right now?
23, 13, and 9.
Wow. So you got a wide range there. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So 2 girls, 1 boy.
Yep.
All right. So it's kind of even around in the house. The girls take over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then we also have 2 dogs. 1 girl, 1 boy.
Oh, okay, so y'all got a full say the least.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Salik, what do you do for work, man?
So me, I am a office leader for Zenova Pinnacle Bank.
Okay.
I've been in the banking industry for about 22 years now.
Wow.
In leadership for about 6 years.
Okay.
So I enjoy my position because it gives me an opportunity, first of all, to share my light as a Christian, but also the opportunity to train and teach others how to be professional and how to be successful in the financial industry.
Right.
So I work with the youngest group of bankers all the way up to the oldest group of bankers in my lifetime. So I'm very diverse, I guess.
No, man, I absolutely love that, man. And I haven't said this in an interview before, but I like to ask fathers what they do because, you know, a lot of times I think our fatherhood and sometimes our leadership at work or other avenues in life that we live in, that provides us to, you know, have to be counselors sometimes or leadership. So I like people to see that diverse. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Banking industry is a whole nother animal. I already know, man.
Yeah.
So listen. So my first question for you, man, fatherhood. What have you learned at this season in life about fatherhood? Like, what's the greatest lesson that you've kind of gleaned from fatherhood at this season in your life? Because I always like to say that there's different stages in fatherhood.
Yeah.
But in this season of fatherhood, what have you been learning, or what's the biggest thing that you had to take away?
Yeah. So the greatest thing I've taken away as being a father is that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you're always being looked at in some way, way as a leader. These kids are looking for you to provide for them. They're looking for you to give them spiritual guidance. And trust me, when you act up, they look at it, right? Or you yell or scream, or they look at it.
By example, yeah.
By examples. What I've learned, and they've taught me patience. They taught me to like, oh, Dad made a mistake. Dad listened to this. Well, Dad heard that. I'm like, oh, you're right. Now I'm having to constantly make sure that I am leading in a way that's, you know, from a spiritual standpoint.
Absolutely.
My biggest thing is I always want my children to be baptized in the body of Christ.
Absolutely.
You know, that's for me, that's way bigger than having a college degree, you know.
I love that. I love that.
So I've had to, in my stages of life now, to really focus and understand that I have to lead them in the way of righteousness first.
Absolutely.
And also give them the guidance they need to be what Christ will have them to be one day through me, through my actions.
Right.
So I had to like scale down and like be humble. So that's what I've strived to be with them.
Man, I absolutely love that because I think a lot of times we put so much emphasis on the things that, you know, may be fleeting or they may change, like a job or college or any of those things. But the thing that you're talking about is having that, you know, Christ-centered character, and that'll take you far regardless of anything else that you do. So, I absolutely love that and I hear that a lot too. The other thing that you said that I wanted to touch on real quick was talk to me about one specific point you made was about you learning from your kids. What does that mean, learn from your kids? Because as a father, you know, typically people think we should be teaching them. But what does that mean, learn from your kids? Listen, family, if you're enjoying these conversations, take a second to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future conversations. Now let's get back to the interview.
So I'll tell you one thing for me, my grandparents raised me, right?
Okay.
So I had stern, hard spankings. I was a bad boy. I'm not gonna lie. I got spankings, but it kept me out of jail, kept me
Yeah,
from disrespecting my elders, and it kept me in the church because I grew up in the church, so that's all
absolutely.
I knew.
Yeah,
But when I had my children,
right,
I tried to, I guess, emulate what I was raised on because I was
right,
raised good. I mean, I didn't have any problems, but
absolutely.
my children were different, and they were
Mm,
my children, and I didn't
right.
want to do the same things that I was raised with them. And of course, the wives are always saying, "No, you can't do that. You can't raise them like that. Why don't you have a conversation with them?" So I give a lot of credit to my wife because
Mm,
she taught me, "Why don't you just have a conversation with them about what's going on? You know, yeah, you can
mm,
spank them and chastise them, but what
yeah,
are you teaching them in the
in the
process? You know."
wow,
And
wow.
today's society, we can't be like we were when I was growing up because they quick to call. Hey, I would be listening, call 911, right? But
Gauge the
anyhow,
information. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
But what I've had to learn is, and I'm not saying I do not
discipline
discipline
them.
the
Yeah,
way that way, but I don't. There's been less times I've had to when I just talk to them and
yeah,
give them the consequences of their actions. So that's kind of like helped me to be humble enough to say, you know, something, you're right. Let's talk about this. How are you feeling?
yeah, yeah.
Tell me about why you made the decision, and then give them the consequences behind it, and then from there, just keep a track of their progress. I think that's important because that lets them know they can have an open conversation with you. You're
I
not
love
trying to
that.
beat them down in life. And, they make mistakes. They're kids, but
Yeah,
I also want them to be kids in the
absolutely.
age brackets, right?
Yeah.
But also learn to make mistakes and then be able to
Mm,
grow from those mistakes on
that's
their own so they
powerful.
can have problem solving skills growing
Right.
up.
Man, that's powerful, man. Because I and man, you literally rolling right into, kind of the direction that I want to ask you question-wise because, we talk about fatherhood, but I'm a firm believer that as fathers, we can't even be our full potential without having the spouses that we have.
Yeah.
So you touched on that. My next question for you will be how does fatherhood in your home when you're trying to lead, set standards, things of that nature, how is that working with your spouse? What is that
Yeah.
dynamic like? And anything that, sticks out to you about working with your spouse and being that leader in the home.
Yeah.
What is that like?
So that's a very good question.
Yeah.
I will say that it's a great sometimes a great debate.
Yeah,
Sometimes I get
yeah.
overruled. I'm not gonna lie.
That
But
makes sense, right?
majority of the time, I have the respect for my wife, and at the end of the day, whenever the decision has to be made,
Yeah.
and it's something that's concerning the family, she gives them that leeway to make that decision. Although they have voiced their opinions
Yeah.
to the depth of their soul,
Absolutely. All out.
I
Yeah.
got all out. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I also work with her as a assistant, a vice president,
Yeah. Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
So I listen to what she's saying,
Absolutely.
and I listen to what my children are saying as well.
Because that's what you talked about earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's important for me to make the best decision for the family,
For the family.
not for my own good,
Ah, I love
but
that.
make sure I make it for the best decision of the family.
Yeah.
And we are doing everything in one accord
In a unit.
and
Yeah.
as a unit. So everybody can get their piece. I get my piece, they can get their piece.
Right.
And everybody can be happy at the end of the day as a family.
Man, I absolutely. Man, that's that's great because a lot of times when we're talking about this family dynamic, it makes me think about, how can you make the best decision for your family if you ain't including the family?
Yeah.
If your family don't even aren't even included in the decision. So that's absolutely great. One thing I wanted to touch on with you is, we talk about the family dynamic, everybody has their ups and downs, their challenges, the triumphs that they go through. But how do you as a father handle anger? How do you handle anger? Because that's a big thing that sometimes it's hard to navigate sometimes. So how do you handle anger, whether it's with
Yeah.
yourself, whether
Yeah.
it's with your kids, whether it's with your spouse? How do you handle anger in the home?
Yes. Very good question. What I have learned how to deal with anger is pretty much to I pray,
Mm,
I
first
pray,
stop,
and
full
then
stop.
and full stop, nonstop.
Right.
Pray without
Amen.
ceasing, right?
Right.
Because of the fact that my children will see me when they upset me. I just start praying like, Father God, just help me with this situation,
Mm,
and they're like, Dad talking to himself again. I'm like, but it's helped me
yeah.
calm me down,
Yeah.
but also be an expression to them. They can pray
That
when they get in
example when
trouble.
they get,
You know,
oh
you know when
man,
when
that's
they're at
powerful.
school and they don't they don't have mom and dad there to kind of relieve them from
Right.
that stress.
Right,
You know,
right.
they can pray about it. And we talk about prayer all the time. I've learned to take a walk with the dogs.
You got to get out. You got
Gotta take
to
a walk
find
with the
your
dog.
thing,
Gotta
right?
find
You
my
got to find
thing.
your thing. Yeah.
I try to, I used to go to the gym by myself with my daughter now. She's a volleyball player, so we try to go to the gym late in the afternoon.
Okay,
So she took away that piece for a
Right,
minute.
right.
But
Yep.
most importantly, I pray about it.
Yeah.
I find some type of avenue to relieve the stress
Like an
before
outlet.
before I
Yeah.
express myself.
Yeah.
I listen to what is being expressed, even though I'm angry.
Yeah.
I listen to what's being expressed.
Yeah.
Take a step back, breathe, take a walk, and then come back with the recollection of what they said and be able to present a solution.
Wow.
So I won't be as angry. Now, have I been angry? I'm like, somebody shouldn't have
pull
done
that
that.
back. Yeah.
But I've been humble enough to say, guys, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. My
Yeah.
daddy made a mistake. Or my wife, I'm sorry. Give me a kiss on the cheek or something. Make it all right.
Smooth that out.
Being humble enough to say, I'm a human too. I'm still in progress, as they say.
Absolutely.
From time to time, I may make a mistake.
Right.
But just know that I recognize the mistake, and I really appreciate you telling me these things to better me.
And give me a chance to correct it. Yeah. Space and
give me a chance to correct that. So that's been the avenue I've used, just prayer, taking a walk, breathing. But sometimes I'll jump on the video game, my son, something just to relieve old time stress.
Man, that's it.
Just do something, find an outlet, because that anger, man, it'll take you on.
Man, it's a powerful drug, man. If you don't tame it, that's why I wanted to ask, man, because I know a lot of times, people will say women are the more emotional ones and that kind of stuff. But for men, for us, the anger comes out and that's emotion. That's emotion. And if we don't tame it and control it, man, it could turn into something. That's amazing, man. I absolutely love that. So in your home, when it comes to, leading and finding the example, what are some non-negotiables in your home? Like, as dad, as husband, like, listen, as a family, we're not doing this, or this is the way we're going. What's that one thing you can tell me that is a boundary for the family?
One non-negotiable that we have is that you can't miss church. You got to get up on Sunday morning. I don't care how late you stay up.
Whatever it is.
What friend is staying over. What family member's coming.
Right.
We're all getting up and we're going to church together. That's probably the reason why we don't have a lot of company sometimes on Saturday nights.
Because people are like, they going to church.
We're going to church, and I feel like if I don't give that structure, then we'll never get a chance to give somebody the opportunity, especially a visitor or a relative, the opportunity to hear the word, see how we're living as a family.
Right.
Even though we have
all about showing that example.
Even though we have our ups and downs, we still got God at the forefront of our household, to keep us grounded. So that's a non-negotiable that we have. Also respect. Respect goes a long way for everybody.
Right.
From me to my wife, from her to me, from my children to me and to her. That plays a strong factor in our relationship as a family.
That's powerful, man. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to tell you, every father that I talk to talks about respect because it's almost like a cornerstone of who we are as men, who we are as fathers, who we are as spiritual and Christian men as well, you know. And even fathers that may not be, Christian or have a strong faith, they still talk about respect, man. And I know that's just a foundational piece to fatherhood and leading homes and stuff like that. So man, I love it. So last question for you, man. Last question for you. God forbid something happens to you today or tomorrow, and you want to leave something to your kids, from Salik to his kids. What's that one message you want to leave to your kids?
Yikes. I guess the one thing I would want to leave is that that's a tough question, man. It's a tough question. It made me tip a little on that one.
It makes you think about
it. One thing I want to leave is that Daddy gave his all. I gave him my all, even when I wasn't the best. I found a way to strive to be the best for them. And I did what I had to do to make sure they had what they needed. Clothes on their back, food on the table.
Absolutely.
The knowledge they need about life, about spirituality. But at the end of the day, I left it all on the table.
Left it all on the table.
So that I can be an example for them when they think of me through times and say, what would Daddy do? How would Daddy go to God about this? So that's a tough one.
Yeah, man. The reason I asked that question is because I want fathers to know, I want you guys as an audience to know that we have deep seated feelings about our families, about our kids. A lot of times we don't speak about it, but I wanted to give our fathers a platform to speak about it. So, Salik, man,
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
Man, thanks for the
Listen,
opportunity.
always.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, this is another interview, another father in the books. Listen, if y'all love this content, if y'all want to hear more from other fathers, y'all got other questions, like, share, and subscribe. Stop right now and like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all on the next interview. Peace.
Peace out.